you went to WWE, was it Terry Garvin that helped get you in there because he was already in the office?
No. I think it was Pat that called me.
Okay.
Well, I knew Pat because I went to school. The school was about a quarter of a block from where Pat lived.
Okay.
And I was seeing his sister, Annette. I think she's my age or younger. I think it was Pat that called me. I heard that I had left Puerto Rico. I wasn't going to Puerto Rico anymore. And that's when I went. But I didn't fit there, you know. I tried my best to, one time I told Vince, I said, I can't sing, dance, and rock and roll.
Right.
I said, I can't do that stuff. I mean, I'm not, you know.
Why did they change your name from Hands of Stone to
He does that
Rugged?
with everybody.
Yeah.
Mostly. I mean, look at Dusty.
You had a WrestleMania 5 match against Dino Bravo. Do you have any memories of working with Bravo at that time in your career?
Not really.
No.
Oh, I think we had a decent match. Yeah, but it was just to get on the card. That was all.
Right.
That was all. You know, like when I did with Greg, the refereeing. That puts you on the pay-per-view.
All right. So your main feud in WWE was with Greg Valentine,
Yeah.
and it started with you doing a retirement angle. Was that your idea, or was that?
It was my idea.
Okay.
They changed it a little bit. I give it to Pat. Pat said, "Well, let me talk to Vince." They changed. I was going to do it a little different, but it turned out okay. What it was is, I got to look, and if you were not involved in anything, you didn't make pay-per-view, you didn't make, you know, WrestleMania, you didn't make where the money was, you know. So, and I was lost, man. There was so much thing going on with this and this and that and that. I mean, it's easy to get lost, you know, in the shuffle. I mean, shit. And so I came up with the idea where I leave, lose or leave. And I come back as a referee. Go get me a referee's license. Why not? I'm a wrestler. Go get me a referee's license. Then I mess with him. So he didn't get rid of me. I'm still, and then I really can screw him up in matches, give him a fast count, disqualify his ass. I was going to do more than that, but he might have had some plans on getting somebody, like what's his name, Steve Austin.
Okay. Yeah.
I was going to do stuff like that. You know what I mean? Be just a crazy ass referee and
a bad good guy.
Just yeah. And but they didn't want to go that far. But it worked out. You know, I mean, I got on the we had good matches. And, you know, I was involved. You know, and I like to work with him. So it was I stretched it out till November '90, whatever it was. And Greg Valentine, I like to work with him.
Yeah. Did you work with him in Atlanta before WWE, or just?
You know, I don't remember.
Okay.
I don't think so. I can't remember. I worked with him somewhere before,
Okay.
but not much.
I heard that his father was one of your favorites.
Oh, I'll tell you what. That guy that was to me, he was a masterpiece, man. He would come in, and a lot of promoters wouldn't give him the time. It took him anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks. Because at first it was kind of boring. Because he was very slow and methodical. But I'll tell you what, when he hit somebody, you hear him in the parking lot. Yeah, that's one thing about working with him. You came into the dressing room with a lot of forearms marks across your back and your chest. He'd lay you over the rope, man, and pop. Ringside people couldn't believe it. Yeah, they believed him. That was one guy, to me, he was probably the most believable guy in wrestling. Didn't do much. Didn't do kicking, didn't do anything. But he locked up like a bull. He was tall, not real tall, 6'2" or 3" maybe, you know. And he had a perfect physique, and his eyes, he had these crazy eyes, and he'd look at the people. At first, when he started doing that, it's kind of boring. But about 3-4 weeks later, man, the whole damn place would go nuts. He'd stare at him, and then he'd stare on the other side. And, oh my God. And then when he got over, that's why Wahoo followed him everywhere. They made a fortune, you know. And You talk about belief. If you didn't believe that, you didn't believe nothing. I mean, these guys, I was right there, man. And I worked with him a couple of times. I never was involved in any angles because he was involved with so many people. But God, man, it was totally different. And then once he got to be such a great villain, be like Steve Austin, he turned him babyface. Then he had another run for. They went to Texas, they went to the Carolinas, they went to Florida. They you know, they went to where they was making money, and they could sit down in the dressing room and talk with the booker and run their stuff, you know.
And before you left WWE, it looked like there was being an angle set up with you and Rick Martel. Is there any reason why there was no TV matches for that angle, or you just?
I was done.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was hunt season.
Yeah.
You know, November. I didn't want to work anymore.
Yeah.
Hunt season, they had a hard time keeping me. You too, I think.
And you mentioned Wahoo McDaniel a few times. What are your thoughts on him as a wrestler and a person? Because he was a pretty legendary guy.
Who now?
Wahoo McDaniel.
Oh, that was one of a kind. One of a kind. I traveled. He loved to fly with me. Oh yeah, he would fly with me, and like we'd go to Richmond. Well, the next day we were in Norfolk, right down the road. Nah, I got to go back to Charlotte, play some golf. He was a big golfer. So I'd fly. I got to sleep in my bed, you know, instead of saving money and staying over there. You know, fly back home. Next day we'd fly back, right back where we were almost, and we'd go hunt together. I hunted with him, and the only thing I didn't like being around him is he paid all the time. And money didn't matter to him, you know. And he told me many times, you know, he was broke, but he says, I would do it exactly the same. I wouldn't change a thing. You know, he paid all the time. You know, he was give his shirt off his back. He was one of those guys, you know, and it gets uncomfortable. You know, you want to pay your way. You know, if I'm going to go have dinner or drink some beer or something. But yeah, he was and man, I'll tell you what, he drew some money. Crockett, Texas, all over. Everywhere he went. I think it was in the 60s. If I remember right, it was 67 or 8 in Florida. He made $100,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
What would have been around?
That was big bucks back then.
Yeah.
Because 66, I bought a brand new house. Brand new house now. 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 2-car garage in Florida. It's a $350,000 house today. It's $16,500. So imagine making $100,000. You could buy 6, 7 houses like that.
Wow.
Yeah, that was probably like making $1 million today. I don't know. I don't know where you're, or 800,000. Yeah.
What would your biggest pay years have been? The WWE years or the?
My biggest pay was $150,000. I still get the first check I got.
Oh wow, that was one check.
No, just kidding. First dollar, first check.
Oh.
I framed it. Nah, I had a good career. I didn't make millions, but I'm happy. Just put it that way. I don't have to worry.